Ready? Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Chicane, where we, your host, Brinley,
and McKenna,
put the chic in motorsport.
Our goal is to bring you the latest paddock pulp, provide in-depth and unique interviews with fans and your favorite F1 content creators.
And we encourage you in learning about the sport in a fun and innovative way.
We hope you stick around and enjoy this week's episode, and if you haven't already, make sure to check out our introduction episode to get to know more about your hosts.
With that, let's get revving.
That was pretty good.
That was pretty good. We tried to do it without looking at our phones.
Yeah, so. We didn't look at the notes, so we just a little offhand, but it's okay.
Yeah. So P1s? DNFs?
Yeah. I'm not going to mention anything yet to spoil anything, but let's just say watching the race was a P1. And then DNF was got a little sinus infection over the weekend. Oh, excuse you. Another P1 is I have a friend getting married this month, and so I went to her bridal shower and just got to celebrate her, and she's just the sweetest person ever, and so it was good to just shower her in love.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, P1 is literally P1. If you know, you know. And I graduated this weekend.
Yes.
So that was
so
fun.
Proud.
I was so happy to be done with that. This is another P1. I don't have any DNFs. I have had such a good week. But another P1 was LN4 posted me on their story because I decorated my graduation cap to match Lando's helmet this year. And so they posted me on their story, and I was like, oh my gosh. Okay, and they commented on my post, so I was like, slay. Hopefully Lando low-key saw it, but I mean, he had a pretty busy weekend, so we'll get into that later. But yeah, I don't have any DNFs. It was a pretty good week for me.
We love to hear that.
Yeah. Especially after this whole semester being crazy and everything. But we're good. Excited. Yeah, and also if you're watching the video, like we said last week, we're painting the podcast room. So fumes not good for us. We're sitting in different parts of the house until we figure it out.
It's still under renovation. Yes. I expect that it will be ready next week.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll have some fun new setup stuff.
Yeah. For sure. I actually don't have any paddock pulp this week. The only paddock pulp that we're going to see is the stuff that we're talking about in this episode, which is going to be a shorter episode. Oh! You okay? Is she okay?
She's fine.
Okay.
You're supposed to fall on the pillows. Okay? Sorry about that. She fainted because she was so excited.
She might come for my title as the LANDO NORRIS fan here, but
Lando, you have your number one fan right here, and she's only 6 months old.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. Okay. So no paddock pulp, but we'll have some other stuff to cover today. But
yeah, it's all positive stuff.
All positive stuff. This is going to be a very happy episode.
Yeah. I'm just going to say something people hate on America races so much. Mm-hmm. And I love when we get a good race out of it. Because I'm like, oh, what do you have to say now?
Yeah, what do you have to say now? There's so much we could say in regards to that towards this race this weekend. Yeah. But yeah. So I think we're just going to pretty much do our regular post-race analysis. We don't have a race next weekend. The drivers have a break as they make their way to Imola for the 17th and 18th. And then right after that will be Monaco. So we have a double race weekend after that. But yeah, we have no race this weekend. So we'll just do a post-race analysis and our thoughts on the race this weekend, which I'm excited for. So for F1 Academy, I didn't actually get the chance to watch it, but because I was literally graduating. But I watched I did a highlight or whatever on YouTube. Yeah. Turns out it was a pretty chill, good race. I didn't see any DNFs that I could find. Right, there was no DNFs. don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, so both the races went pretty well. Our pre-race predictions for the first race were Leah Block, Hamda Albaquesi, and Chloe Chambers. If you want to share the race results.
Our podium was Abby Pulling, Dorian Pinn, and Chloe Chambers.
So we got Chloe, but yeah, Abby ended up winning both races.
Yes.
Which is really good. She's a wonderful driver, so seeing her succeed without like the whole first race, taking titles and whatever.
Yeah, also super exciting for Chloe because that's a home race for her.
Yeah. And then for race 2, we guessed Dorian Pinn, Abby Pulling, and Maya Woog. But for the results, we had
Abby Pulling, Bianca
Bustamante,
and wait, I was looking at the wrong one. Dorian Pinn.
Yes, so 2 of those were right.
She's killing it.
And like Bianca getting her first podium in this season in McLaren.
Yes.
Because she is our papaya girly.
Papaya weekend.
Yes. Say that. It was a good papaya weekend.
And she had some really good overtakes and like on-track action. A lot of the girls did. Like Chloe, I think started P9, I feel like. She started a little bit more down the grid in the first race and like made it up like a good amount of spaces.
Yeah.
Positions.
So
yes,
exciting.
ma'am. Yeah, some good on-track action from our Academy girls this weekend.
Yes. And I don't know, I've loved being the like accessibility that we've seen this year with them. Like we've talked about going to COTA and everything, and if we do, then there will be a sprint and a F1 Academy race. And I would love to do that. I would love to attend and see those girls. And I actually had a friend who went to quali on Saturday, and she had the chance of meeting some of them, and she was like, they're just so inspiring, and like they're such sweet ladies. Like, it's encouraging to know that we have women working in motorsport as like behind the wheel, and then they're also just like wonderful people as well.
Oh, it was announced that Leah will be driving a Formula 1 car. 1999, I think. So yeah, that's really exciting for her. She gets to drive an actual Formula 1 car.
That would be so fun. And she was saying, because this is a home race for her as well, she did some press, and she was saying that her goal is pretty much to become the first female Formula 1 driver, like full-time driver, like full season driver, which is a good goal to set. I would love to see her definitely work towards that and see where she can go.
It's definitely a bright future for all of those girls, whether they try to go into F1 or other single-seater, like...
Yeah. I think...
Sorry.
You're good. I think one of the things that they could work for in F1 Academy is better cars, though. I mean, they are so slow compared to the feeder series, so I feel like while it is giving them some like practice or whatever, it's not getting them realistic practice for like F1. Like, I would love to see these girls compete in F3, F2, F3 and F2 in actual like closer to Formula 1 built cars, and see what they could do with that. But yeah, it was a pretty good weekend for those girls.
All right, we also had a sprint.
We did
this weekend. And Max won alongside Charles and Checo, and then with both Lance and our Miami race winner, Lando Norris.
DNFing. Sorry, I forgot to add the DNF.
DNFing. I was like, what are we supposed to say?
Oh my gosh, guys.
What am I supposed to say? Yeah, Lance.
Not a very happy fan here.
Yeah, he's been letting me down a lot. Like, every once in a while, I, like, get my hopes up for him. And then he just kind of lets me down. It's like a bad boyfriend.
Oh my god. I'm not gonna say anything. Okay, so how did our free race predictions go? We had pretty similar actual like hot takes for the race. I think they were literally the same, but we had Logan in the points and Checo gets a penalty or DNFs.
Ooh.
Both of those did not work. Logan DNF'd.
If you watch the sprint, K-Mag got like insane amount of penalties, and he's the new Ocon, and then he just didn't let go of that. He didn't learn anything from the sprint and took it into the race.
Yeah.
And he hit Logan, which ultimately ended up giving us a really good result, at least helping us get there. But very sad day for Logan.
Yeah. I think it's always hard to not finish a race, but also be like the one person who's got the least amount of points in both the seasons that you've been in.
Yeah.
And then also to do it at your home race where everybody that you love is watching.
Yeah. And he had done really good in the sprint. He got P10 in the sprint. Which if all 10 places got points in the sprint, he would have gotten points.
Yeah.
But that's not how it works. So
yeah. So a rough race for him, but ended up helping us papaya fans a little bit.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do?
Our Bryn's podium predictions were Max, Lando, and Fernando, and mine were Max, Ferrari, and McLaren.
So you did get that.
It wasn't like the worst predictions we've ever had.
No.
Not spot on.
Yeah. And like if we shuffle it, we're not too off.
Yeah.
Like we both had Max and Lando on podium.
If you like squint until your head to the left, you can like see it.
Yeah. But I was saying that I would like to see Alonso. Bless you. Bless you. I don't know what to say to that. Are you okay?
Excuse you.
There you go. But yeah, I would love to see Alonso on podiums more this season. I think we don't have the Aston Martin seats confirmed, but I mean, Lance is the son of the company owner, so
he's here to stay.
He's here to stay. As for DNF predictions, I had said, I don't know why I didn't count this, but I had this written down earlier. I had said 2 DNFs, those being Alpine and a Mercedes, but we only had 1 DNF, and that was Logan. And then McKenna had 3 DNFs, and it was Checo, Lance, and Yuki. That's what you had said. But we only had
just
Logan. Although they were like, not Checo, but Yuki, Lance. I don't know where Lance was. Yuki, Alex, K-Mag, Daniel. All of them were like 45 seconds behind the race leader. So it was pretty bad.
Yeah. And that's after, like, well, they didn't really bunch up. But never mind. Forget that comment.
Okay. Well.
So, what, Brinley? How did the race go this weekend?
Can't even, guys. Lando freaking Norris won his first ever race in F1. He did that.
We're so excited.
Guys, we have to tell you. So we'll get into like all of that.
See what had happened was.
So, little backstory. I graduated this weekend, like I said. It was on Saturday. Saturday, I missed quali. I ended up watching it later. Go into Sunday, and I slept in because Saturday was a long day. And then I was invited by some of my friends to come celebrate my graduation because they weren't able to actually make it to my graduation. So I'm like, okay, I live like 30 minutes away from where we're going. I'll go. I can be back before the race starts, or I can be back like halfway through the race. Totally lost track of time. Had my phone on Do Not Disturb because my Twitter was blowing up. And so I just forgot. I literally forgot that the race was happening. Happened to check my phone as I'm getting gas on the way home. And I'm like, huh, the race is happening. We have like 20 laps left. And Lando's leading. And Max is like not catching up to him. And so...
In fact, he's falling away from him.
Yeah. And so I texted her and I was like, I'm driving right now. Lando's leading the race. And she goes, you need to pull over right now. And I was like, I literally can't. So we're texting back and forth. I'm like using voice to message, all this stuff. And I was like, maybe I can put it on my radio, but the login information wasn't working. So I literally could not watch it in any sense of the matter. And I'm on a highway, like on a strip where there's no exit. So I literally would have to like pull off on the shoulder. So she's like, you know what? I'm going to FaceTime you. I put my phone on the dashboard and she's FaceTiming me. And I watched LANDO NORRIS win through FaceTime. And I sobbed, I cried, I laughed. It was a whole moment. And she screen recorded everything, but you can't hear anything, so that's the...
I'm so disappointed that there's no audio.
Because it was pretty funny, guys. Yeah. I was telling her, like, I went to work on Monday. And I was just sitting there, like, listening to music, and I'm, like, doing my job and all that stuff. And then I just, like, randomly remember that he won. And then I, like, break out in a grin, and I giggle. And I'm just like, he freaking won. He freaking won with Max still in the race. Mm-hmm. Like, pure racecraft. Pure racecraft and strategy. Like, this man won. And I'm so proud of him. And it, like he said, it was a long time coming, but it was worth every single moment because this race was so special.
It was really sweet.
I'd like to hear your 2 cents because I just talked a lot. I'm sorry.
I just loved listening to you. Yeah, we were all just watching, and I would actually love to look back at our text conversations to see because we were like all cats like yelling at each other over the text. But yeah, we were all like, oh my gosh, because there was the safety car. And it was actually really funny because the safety car caught Max. Mm-hmm. And they were like, hey, you got the wrong car. And he was like, oh, shoot. So they had to let everyone unlap so that Lando could get the front. And then he just drove away pretty much from there. And we're all, like, staring at it. And we're all, like, praying that there wasn't another accident and wasn't another safety car or like, they didn't have to bunch up or anything. And I would have... I think acted a lot more excited if we had some people over that like have never watched Formula 1 before. So I was like, I don't want to be like too crazy right now.
Yeah.
But we were very, very excited and loved seeing all the celebrations and all the drivers
congratulating
just being
him. So
sweet. It was such like a wholesome moment in Formula 1. Like literally, I think everyone was like, I'm happy that Max didn't win and that Lando won. Everyone was like, we're happy it was Lando, you know.
Even Max was like, he wasn't like cocky about it, but he was like, I've won so many times, like if it's going to be anybody to beat me, I want it to be Lando.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh. And then like the commentators, like I was expecting this, I don't know, when it happened, I was kind of like in shock, but also like so surprised as well. Not surprised, but I was like happy for him and everything. But I was just totally expecting the whole like race commentation of he wins in Spa, he wins in Monza, like something like that big. And then the commentators were like, Lando Norris wins! It's a victory! He has landed a win! And I was like, I'm like actually gonna cry again. Like I've been so happy all weekend. And like I didn't say this earlier, but I got home in enough time because I was literally speeding. I got home in I won't say how much, but I got home in enough time for him to like park on Parc Fermé and like get up and get out of the car and do the thing and like celebrate, hug everybody. Fernando came up to him and hugged him, and then hugged McLaren's team and everything. Him jumping into the McLaren crowd and then go up on podium. Like I was able to watch all of that, and like it was such a special day. Like it was for everybody, and specifically Papaya fans. Like it goes down in history.
It was such a great moment for him and all of McLaren because they haven't won since, is it 2021?
Yeah.
Right? When Daniel won? Mm-hmm. So all their hard work finally paid off, and all of Lando's hard work finally paid off. And then all the drivers, like Daniel and George and Charles and Max and Carlos, oh, so sweet. They were all like coming up to him and like giving him hugs and be like, congratulations, like you earned this so much. And yeah, it was so much fun. But I don't think anyone expected it, which is like kind of sad.
Yeah.
In a way that, like, it's all, we're just sitting there watching, like, oh, Max is going to win again. So it's just an extra special moment that I think we were surprised by, too.
This also gives me so much hope for, like, the rest of the season, too. Like, I'm always a Lando Norris defender, and, like, I truly did believe that he would win this season. But now I'm, like, even more with, like, how the car reacted in the race. For both, I mean, like, Piastri, yeah, he was P13, but he did well in the sprint, and, like, I think majority of this was not his fault, this race. It was kind of strategy and, like, who he was around at the time. Like you said, he was racing Pierre, and, like, the focus was on not causing another collision so that Lando could win this. But based off of how the weekend went, like, this has given me so much hope for the rest of the season that we could win again. I think we will win. I know we will win again. And it'd be great if it was at COTA.
We just need an Oscar win, though.
Yes. I'd be down for that.
I'm waiting for their P1 and P2. And I'm also waiting for Lando Carlos P1, P2.
Yes.
Because it happened the other way around. But we need the reversal of it.
All right. So that was the surprise of the race. Was Lando won. And I think it was like by 7.6 seconds or something like that.
When I watched the time last, I remember it was 6 something, but it could have, I wasn't watching the time at the end. I was just
watching him win. Yeah. But yeah, that is insane. I did screenshot a little bit of the race report that Formula One posted about it just because I thought what they had said was really sweet. So Formula One's account posted, Norris ran 6th in the early stages of the race, that's where he started, with fast-starting teammate Oscar Piastri, the McLaren man who initially looked most likely to cause an upset, but a safety car at the midway pointed perfectly into the Briton's hand after he extended his opening stint. Norris emerged from the pits in the lead, with Verstappen demoted to second after stopping under normal racing conditions, and despite an initial attack from the leader at the restart, Norris managed to maintain the position and then edge clear. A cool, calm, and collected performance thereafter and balance problems for Verstappen meant there was no stopping Norris from banishing the demons of his near miss of the 2021 Russian Grand Prix and become a race winner at the 10th time of asking. And Lando's radio was, "Ooh, Lando no wins? Ha, ha, ha." I guess that's how it's done after he crossed the finish line. And he said, "I love every single one of you. Thank you so much for the team, for the effort that you have put in and the belief that you have had in me." So, very, very special.
And his grandma?
Yeah.
He dedicated to his grandma.
Yeah. If you want to do the pit stop.
Alright, so moving on from all of that, our fastest pit stop was Ferrari at 1.94 seconds. Speaking of Ferrari, found this out. Charles didn't have any water from the formation lap.
No!
It's something like 114 degrees in the cockpit.
And it's also Miami.
And so, yeah.
No.
Shout out to Charles, still pulling off number 3 with no water.
He has not talked about.
This also happened in a Ferrari before with Kimi Räikkönen, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. He was like, "Whoa." Whoa. Yeah, we don't talk enough about Charles, like, actually racing. We talk about, like, I think majority of Formula One talks about how he's, like, the poster child for Ferrari and how they want him there to win championships and back and forth of, like, who's the better driver at Ferrari and blah, 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 blah. But he really is a good driver, and, like, he kind of goes under the radar sometimes. But that's very impressive to go an entire race with a safety car. Like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah, very, very hot.
Yeah. As for the fastest lap, like we said earlier, this was definitely a papaya weekend with Bianca Bustamante getting her first podium in the McLaren in F1 Academy, Lando winning. We had Oscar Piastri setting the fastest lap at 1 minute 30.634 seconds.
How close is that to the record? Is the lap record one?
I think it was like, I think it's 127.
Oh, really?
Let me check.
Pretty off then.
Let me check. If you want to do the last one. Look.
And our driver of the day was none other than Lando Norris. People have gone from calling him Lando No Wins to Lando Now Wins. So we will stick with that one.
Trying to find it.
He deserved it.
He did. He really did. The lap record is 1.29.
Okay.
0.708 set by Max Verstappen. But like we said last week, this track has only been here since 2022. So I think it could be beat in the next 2 to 3 years.
It's a baby track.
It's a baby track.
But also, the I think world record or something like that for the amount of viewers watching a Formula 1 race was broken.
Yes.
At 3.1 million, right? And last year, the Miami race had the highest one, and it was like 2.8 or 2.9 million.
Yeah.
And so
that many people watching a maiden win is amazing. Like, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine how he's feeling right now. Like, to think about that, and everybody was chanting his name, and then instead of like the do Max Verstappen, they were doing la 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 Lando Norris, and I was like, shut up, I'm gonna cry again. I haven't been able to get over it. I don't think I ever will. Yeah. I ended up buying his merch today because they did a win merch sale and everything, so yeah. Like we said, this was going to be a shorter episode, but if you have anything else to add about the race.
I don't really. I was going to talk about for a second just about, like, I don't know how you feel about it, so you can say, but obviously a lot of celebrities show up at the races and stuff, and they get all the pit access and stuff. And a lot of people don't like that happens. So I'll ask your opinion and then I'll give mine.
So I think for me, it depends. The celebrities don't bother me so much because, I mean, it's bringing revenue to the sport. You see, like, for example, like the Kardashians, like, they have such a huge women-based fan group or whatever that if they come to the races, that brings in more female fans, which I'm okay with. When it comes to the influencers, that's when I get a little bit more upset about it. Because, I mean, like, we have a podcast, and then, like, I also post, like, F1-based content on TikTok and Twitter. And, like, obviously I'm not the only one, but, like, I see people like that surrounded in my circle that have a really good following and have been noticed by teams and drivers. And I'm like, why aren't they invited over James Charles?
Right.
James Charles got into Formula 1 because of Chicken Shop Date. And that's not to bash anybody on how they came into Formula 1. There's multiple different ways to do that. But comparing that to somebody who's been doing this for like 2 to 3 years and has a close following to that, not getting invited just doesn't seem fair to me.
Yeah, so my opinions are pretty much the same. I think it's a little, like, as far as the celebrities go, like, there are some where I'm like, why would you be there?
Yeah.
But I think it's great because then they're posting about it on their stories and stuff, and they have so many followers, and then it can bring new fans to Formula 1. And the more people that like Formula 1, the more people I can talk to about Formula 1.
True.
And so, like, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, I agree there's some people that are, like, questionable. But at the same time, like, there's definitely people there that would take away from the experience that you could give to, like, a real Formula 1 fan.
Yeah.
But some of them, like the Kardashians, for example, they've been going to Formula 1 races for years.
Yeah.
And watching them for years. And Kendall Jenner was there, and she was, like, all like in the Formula F1 Academy and stuff. I'm like watching the girls and meeting the girls and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that to me is like really cool.
Yeah,
really
it feels
great.
more authentic.
Yeah.
In a way, like you're not just here to like post about it type thing. It's more of like, I've been watching this, I've been interested in it. This is because she does post about it like outside of being at the races and everything. So I know it's a genuine interest. And so like seeing her in the F1 Academy garage shows that she really has respect and interest in like the other categories.
Mm-hmm. So it doesn't bother me that much. Mm-hmm. I think it gets like, if you don't like it, then like I don't feel like you have to be like, we don't care to see it. Like just like, it doesn't matter then.
Yeah. If you don't have something nice to say, don't say it at all.
Yeah. That being said, I would love to be invited to the pits like that.
Yes. Yes, we would. I was actually thinking about that. Like, I need to reach out to some people, or if you're listening, you know, like how to navigate this. As a podcast, as a Formula One podcast, I'm wondering if there's like media passes that we could get for COTA. Because I think 100% we'll be able to hopefully interview some F1 Academy drivers at COTA if we end up going, at the very least. Mm-hmm. I think we could do that.
I think there's a way.
I think there's a way. We just have to figure out like figuring it out, like contacting, and because I know you can't just like bring a camera to the whatever, the microphones. Yeah, we'll have to look into that. But that'd be really cool.
I would also just love, like, to get a media vest and, like, walk around my camera and, like, take pictures of, like, the cars and people hanging out there.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I just want to go. Yeah. I just want to go so bad. But, yeah, that was the Miami Grand Prix recap.
I hope that you guys are as excited as we are.
I think if I had to guess, majority of our listeners are McLaren, Ferrari, and Red Bull fans. If you're not, comment below because we would love to see like what your favorite team is.
Yeah. I also have loved the clip of Max as gone viral coming to Lando's defense. When they were trying to be like, oh, you only won because of the safety car. And he's like, it's always if. If my mom has balls, she'd be my dad. Thank you, Max.
Love him. I love him. That is so funny because people have been like, so on Twitter, usually whenever like there's a race that's super fun, or like for the example, for like the Japanese Grand Prix, they put their name in Japanese letters by their actual name. And so for this one, they have put their name and then Lando wins on the other side. And so I saw one girl put in her bio that thing where he said that, and I was like, oh, that's hilarious. So every time she like comments or reposts, it just says, if my mom had balls, she'd be my dad. Max is a real one, and he is honestly in the fight for Lando's
He's actually
number
hilarious.
one fan.
He's both Lando's number one fan and Charles' number one fan.
Yes. Yes.
Did you see that they rode in the P2 car together?
No. He said, no, you're coming with me.
The cars like go like to take them to the podium. Yeah. He originally walked over to get in Lando's car to like ride with Lando, but they wouldn't let him. So he went back, and then Charles, I don't know if he was like, Charles, come to my car. Or Charles just went in to like hang out with Max in his car, but they rode to the podium together.
That's adorable. And people are like, Max has no like softness. No, like, he's not kind. I'm like,
Max is not the Max on Drive to Survive.
No, because Drive to Survive is fake.
For entertainment value only.
Yeah, it's reality TV for a reason. But yeah.
Anywho, we will stop babbling.
Yes.
And just say checkered flag.
Yeah. Bye, guys.